Hi everyone. I was going through some comments of a friend's post. They were talking about firearms, and there was a bunch of misinformation. And hopefully, this little short video, this little vlog, will help clear things up. One of the comments that was made is that the AR is so customizable that the customizations can make it more powerful. This is true and false. Usually when people talk about customizing an AR, they talk about, the sight they put on there, or the stock they put on there, or the grips with the little doodads that they put on there. None of those things will actually make the rifle any more powerful. There's two things that will make a rifle more powerful. One is the ammunition. Not every 5.56 or 2.23 round in the world is the same. They have different amounts of powder, or the actual round is designed differently, such as hollow points, penetrators, so on and so forth. So that is one thing that will make it more or less powerful, how much powder is in there, stuff like that. The other thing that you can easily change on a rifle that will make it more powerful is the barrel itself, and more specifically the barrel length. The shorter the barrel is, the less pressure gets to build up behind the bullet as it travels down the barrel. Thus, less pressure, less power. The bullet is not going to go as far. The other big part about the barrel is if it's shorter, there's less rifling to put a spin on that bullet to make it nice and stable. So if the round is getting less of a push and less spin, the round will actually be less accurate, have less range, and have less power when it does eventually hit its target. So technically, again, AR-15s, if you have a short barrel, which you have to buy a tax stamp for, is going to be less accurate and less powerful than having a 18-inch or a 20-inch barrel, which you don't need a tax stamp for. Odd. Another thing that was thrown around was the term fixed magazine. Magazine implies that it holds multiple rounds. So saying that a fixed magazine is load one round, fire one round is not true. The M1 Garand is a semi-automatic rifle that we used during World War II. It had a fixed magazine. What you did is you pulled the bolt back and you shoved 8 rounds in using a stripper clip into a magazine that was built into the rifle. The magazine could not be taken off. And then you send the bolt forward and you have 8 rounds. You can pull the trigger 8 times before you have to reload it. So that's a fixed magazine, as opposed to what you commonly see in ARs or other modern rifles where they have a detachable magazine, where you load X number of rounds and that box gets connected to the rifle in some way, shape, or form through a magazine well. You fire until that magazine's empty, and you can take that detachable magazine off and put another detachable magazine that's loaded in, thus causing faster reloads. But that magazine does not make the rifle any more or any less powerful. It can change how many rounds you can have in it. You can have a magazine that's only 5 rounds. You can have a magazine that's 100 rounds. Or these giant drum magazines that are 100, 200 rounds. Easy. And people are like, oh my god, 200 rounds. Firing full auto 200 rounds is going to significantly heat up that weapon. And if you do 2 or 3 magazine changes, so you're doing 4, 6, 800 rounds on full auto, you will melt the barrel. It will warp. It will catch fire. It will become useless. Some rifles you can get more rounds out of, some of them less, before that kind of catastrophic failure. Another talking point that was brought up is that the AR was more powerful than the AK. No, it's not. ARs traditionally are more customizable. Traditionally, they have tighter tolerances, so they require more cleaning. And traditionally, they are considered more accurate past 400 yards when shooting, due to the way the weapon is designed. Now, I say traditionally because there are more modern AKs that can do everything that the ARs can. And there's more modern ARs that can fit the same round that the AK has, the 7.62, and perform. Traditionally, the AK has a larger bullet that is being pushed out that barrel. Traditionally, due to the loose tolerances, the weapon past 400 yards is not as accurate. This is easily changed with some of the variations of the AK. But traditionally, 400 yards and shorter, AK's got more power. And that's all due to the size of the bullet and the barrel. They use different operating systems, and you can have that great debate of reliability, precision, all these other things, but all those things can be changed with minor tweaks and peaks of either rifle. So it's not that the AK is more powerful than the AR, or the AR is more... No, they're both semi-automatic rifles, and they're both very strong, widely used rifles. AR-15 is the most common rifle you'll find in the United States of America, and some of our allied countries still use them. The AK is the most popular weapon used throughout the entire world, because the Soviets and some of these other countries that cloned it have just absolutely made bajillions of them and distributed them everywhere throughout the world. It's the most common rifle in the world currently, to my knowledge. So hopefully these little pieces of information help clear up some of these debates that you will commonly see of what actually makes a rifle more powerful, the bullet and the barrel, or what makes a rifle, what the difference between fixed magazines and detachable magazines, and things that actually make a difference in the firearm versus things that just make it look different or helps the shooter. Because those customizations that you put on like an AR, like a forward hand stop or a different type of sights, those help the shooter become a better shooter. They don't actually change the function of the rifle in any significant way. You gotta know how to use those attachments in order to be a better shooter. So again, hopefully this helps clear stuff up, and I should probably make more videos because it's been a hot minute. Talk to you guys later.